Welcome to this brief tutorial, and this will be to go over some changes made in the National University Student Organization Blackboard containers. So I'm using Student Nursing Association San Diego as an example. I'll be careful not to share any private info from their club. The changes that have been made, we've discussed this recently, but you'll see that there is a link to make a payment to a student organization. So currently, this is only for dues. We may be expanding this, but you can use this web form to use a credit card or a debit card to make a payment into the account of any student organization at National University. In Club Resources, there was previously a section, Handbook, Forms, and Documents. That's still there, but it has been updated. The important updates here are the Advisor Agreement form is now a JOT form. It's now a web-based form, so if your advisor needs to be updated, if you change advisors or get an additional advisor, please have them fill this out here. There is also the account authorization form. This is a really important form. This tells us who is permitted to write checks drawing on your student organization's account. So by keeping this up to date, by letting us know the names of the student officers and the faculty staff advisors who are allowed to sign checks, this helps us protect your club funds and make sure that no one is inappropriately accessing your club funds. And yes, all the other forms you will need are also here, but these have not changed, so I'm not going to dig into that. Another change, it says update here, annual review documentation. I think it used to be called annual CSEA review documentation, so a tweak to the name there. And we have made some small changes to the documentation we're requiring with a hope to make it easier and more streamlined for y'all. So please be sure on an annual basis, we'll be checking your student organization to make sure this is all up to date. Please make sure your advisor agreement form reflects your current advisors. So this is the same form I showed you before. So just on an annual basis, make sure that your advisor hasn't changed, and if it has, fill out that form. All clubs have to have at least 5 active members and at least 2 officers to be active clubs. So the way we are keeping track of that is asking that you have new folks to your student organization fill out this student registration and liability form. You only need to fill it out once at the beginning of your time in a student organization. So anytime you join a new student organization, go ahead and fill this out, and this will allow us to keep a running tally of how many folks are in your club without you needing to periodically submit rosters. We want this folder to also contain an up-to-date account authorization form. This was the form I already showed you. It's also linked in your club resources. Again, this is so we can easily check if you have a check requisition. If you say, I want to send a check to so-and-so drawing on club accounts, we can make sure here that the folks who sign that check are authorized to do so. We do also ask that in here you include a list of the names and email addresses of all those officers who have financial access. So really just repeating the information on the account authorization form. We ask that you include a list of the URLs and usernames for your social media sites and accounts. So just a list of, your Twitter handles, the websites. If you have a LinkedIn group, you don't need to give us the password. We don't need to be able to log in, but we do need to know what those accounts are. And a list of the best email address or email addresses we should use to contact you. So if that's the name of these officers, great, but just the email addresses we should be using if we need to get in touch with you. And if you'd like to make those changes, you can open up this folder. And you can see they've got some information here. If you want to edit something, click on the drop down and click Edit. Make whatever changes you wish in the box and then hit Submit. Or if you want to add a new section, you can go over Build Content, Item, put in the name, put in the contents, and hit Submit. And we can remove that. So delete. And then I'm going to stop sharing this image. I'm just going to open up the advisor agreement form because I'm going to I'm going to be showing something that I don't want to be showing. One moment, I'm going to do stop share. And all right, so I'm not sharing now. There's going to be no video, but I do want to go through something. So you may notice that I made some changes to this Blackboard organization, and the only folks who are authorized to make changes are folks with leader level access. So if you're wondering, gosh, who in my club has this access? The way you would find that out is if you have somebody with leader access. So I have leader access, my supervisor has leader access, your faculty staff advisors should, but also we want all of your student leaders to have this. So have somebody with existing access, go down to organization management, and on users and groups, click on users. And that will bring up a list of all of the folks in your student organization and whether they are participants, so they can view, or they are leaders, they can make changes. So again, the idea is that all of your student officers are leaders so that they can go ahead and make those changes that we talked about. If you want to add somebody to the student organization, and again, I'm not screen sharing because this is showing the student IDs of existing members, but once you went through that process of going on to organization management, under users and groups, clicking on users, there's a box that says enroll user in the upper left. You're going to hover over that and then go to find users to enroll. You're going to enter in their student ID, and then you're going to select their role. So if it's a participant, they're just going to have passive access. If it's a leader, they're going to be able to make changes. So again, your student officer should have that leader access. And then you're going to click submit, and then they will be added. We do also recommend that you periodically go through and remove folks who are not any longer members of your student organization. The reason for this is if you send out an announcement or an email to all users, even if that person has graduated from National University, if it's their NU student email address, I believe that they won't get an email, but if it's a personal email address in the system, they may continue to get emails and may not want that. So what you would do is you would hover over an individual and there would be a drop down, and you would click on remove users from organization. Now, little pro tip, you'll find that if you try to remove a fellow leader, it will tell you that you don't have permission to do this as a leader. But what you can then do, it's a two-step process. You would hover over that individual and you'd have the little drop down. You'd click to change users' role in organization and change them from a leader to a participant. And then once you've done that, once you are a leader and they're a participant, you can remove them from the organization. So I hope that is helpful. If you have any questions, please give us an email at clubs@nu.edu, and we'll get some more tutorials coming soon. Thanks as always for your engagement.